Ray-Ban, Oakley, Persol, Vogue Eyewear, Arnett, Costa Del Mar, Oliver Peoples. Those are not competitors. Every one of them is owned outright by a single company. So if you have ever stood in a shop turning a rack, weighing one brand against another, you are watching that company compete with itself. It gets stranger. Look at the designer frames on the same rack. Chanel, Prada, Versace, Dolce & Gabbana, Burberry, Michael Kors, Ralph Lauren, Coach, Miu Miu. Do you think those fashion houses manufacture eyewear? They do not. They license their names out. And for most of that list, the company that actually makes your glasses and prints the designer name on the arm is the same company that owns Ray-Ban. So is the shop you bought them in. LensCrafters, Sunglass Hut, Pearl Vision, Target Optical, Vision Express. All of it, one owner. The company is called EssilorLuxottica. In 2024, it reported revenue of about 26.5 billion euros, and it runs somewhere in the order of 17,750 stores worldwide. You have almost certainly never heard the name. That is not an accident. It has never needed you to. But I want to be careful with you from the start, because there is a number attached to this story that gets repeated everywhere and is simply wrong. We will get to it, and the truth turns out to be more unsettling than the myth. The story starts in a mountain town. Agordo sits north of Belluno in the Veneto, high in the Italian Alps. In 1961, a man named Leonardo Del Vecchio opened a workshop there, making components, the small metal parts that other people assembled into spectacle frames. Not glasses, parts of glasses. That is the worst position in any industry. You are a supplier. Your customer can replace you next quarter. Your margin is whatever they decide to leave you. What Del Vecchio worked out, and worked out early, is that the person who controls the last step controls the money. So he moved forward, one step at a time. Components became finished frames, and now he did not need the assembler. Then he built his own distribution, and now he did not need the wholesaler. Then eventually he bought the shops, and now he did not need the retailer either. Each move looks small on its own, but watch what every single one of them has in common. Each one removed somebody who used to take a cut of your money on the way through. Then came the move that made the company. Through the 1980s and 1990s, fashion houses were discovering something uncomfortable about eyewear. Glasses are a genuinely hard product. They are a medical device and a fashion object at the same time. They have to sit on a face for 14 hours without hurting, survive being sat on, hold a prescription lens to a fraction of a millimeter, and still look like they cost 300 euros. Chanel is superb at many things. Hinge tolerances are not one of them. So the fashion houses did the rational thing. They rented out their names and let somebody else solve the engineering. And this is the hinge of the entire story, so stay with me. A license deal looks like the fashion house winning. They collect a royalty, they do no manufacturing, they carry no inventory risk. But look at what it does to the shelf in front of you. If one manufacturer holds the licenses for Prada and Versace and Dolce & Gabbana and Burberry, then the shelf that appears to offer you a choice between 4 rival fashion houses is quietly offering you 4 products out of 1 factory. The brands stay rivals in the advertising. The supply chain underneath stops being rivals at all. Now here is the part almost nobody knows, and it is the moment this stops being a story about glasses. In the United States, EssilorLuxottica owns a vision insurance business called iMed. Not a partner, not a joint venture, a subsidiary reported to cover on the order of 36 million members.
Sit with the shape of that for a second, because it is genuinely unusual. The same corporate group can grind your lens. It can make your frame. It can license the designer name printed on the arm of that frame. It can own the shop you walk into. It can employ the optometrist who tests your eyes in the room at the back. And it can own the insurance plan that decides how much of the final bill you personally pay. Every step in that chain looks like a separate business, making an independent commercial decision. The frame brand, the shop, the insurer. 3 different logos on 3 different documents. 3 companies, as far as you can possibly tell, while standing at the counter with your card out. 1 owner. Now, that is not a scandal in the criminal sense. It is legal, it is disclosed, and regulators have examined it repeatedly, which we will come to in a moment. But it is one of the most complete vertical structures anywhere in modern consumer business, and it sits underneath a product that most adults eventually need simply in order to see.
And I have been telling you only half of this company, because there are 2 names in EssilorLuxottica, and so far I have only explained one. Luxottica makes frames, Essilor makes lenses, and the lens is the half most people never think about, which is precisely why it is the more profitable half. Think about what you actually buy when you buy glasses. You choose the frame. That is the fun part, the part with the designer name, the part you spend 20 minutes on in front of a small mirror. Then somebody asks whether you would like anti-reflective coating, thinner lenses because the prescription is strong, a blue light filter, progressive lenses rather than bifocals, photochromic so they darken outside. Every one of those is a lens decision. Every one of them adds to the bill, and most of them cost far less to produce than they add to the price, because you have no way at all to judge what any of them should cost. You can compare 2 frames by looking at them. How exactly do you comparison shop an anti-reflective coating? Essilor, a French company, spent decades becoming the largest lens manufacturer in the world, the inventor of the modern progressive lens, and the owner of the brands and coatings that opticians recommend to you by name. So in October 2018, the largest frame company on Earth merged with the largest lens company on Earth. Not a supplier buying a customer, not a retailer buying a brand. The 2 halves of the physical object on your face joined into a single group, and then that group went out and bought the shops that sell it, and the insurance that pays for it. That is the structure: frames, lenses, shops, insurance. 4 businesses that never have to negotiate with each other, sitting in a market where you cannot price check any of the 4. To understand how a shop becomes a weapon, you have to look at what happened to Oakley. Through the 1990s and early 2000s, Oakley was the opposite of a licensing brand. It was an engineering company with a cult following, fanatical about optics, aggressively independent, run by a founder who very publicly did not want to be part of anybody's portfolio. That independence was not marketing, it was the entire brand. Then came the dispute. Oakley and Luxottica fell out over pricing, and Luxottica, by this point, owned Sunglass Hut, which was not merely a sunglasses retailer in America. In the mall era, it was close to the sunglasses retailer. Oakley's products came off those shelves. Think about what that actually means if you are Oakley. Your product is superb, your customers exist, and they want you. But the single most important counter in your market is owned by the company you are currently arguing with. Where exactly do you go? It is reported that Oakley's share price suffered badly around that delisting, and that its negotiating position weakened considerably. Now, I want to be precise with you about what is established here and what is not, because this is where most tellings of this story quietly cheat.
That Oakley was pulled from Sunglass Hut, that it happened during a pricing dispute, and that the stock came under real pressure, that is on the record. That the delisting was intended to soften Oakley up for an acquisition is an inference. It is a very tempting inference, but I cannot show you a document that establishes it. So I am not going to tell you it is a fact.
What is a matter of public record is what happened next.
In June 2007, Oakley agreed to be acquired by Luxottica, $29.30 a share, valuing the company at roughly $2.1 billion. And the merger filings preserve the negotiation. Luxottica had been sitting at around $26.10. Oakley had signaled it would give serious consideration to $28.75. The final deal landed above both numbers. After the acquisition closed, Oakley products went straight back onto the shelves of the very stores that had stopped carrying them. That is the whole company in a single episode. Luxottica did not beat Oakley on lens quality. It did not outdesign them, and it did not outmarket them. It simply owned the room where you decide what to buy.
Which brings you to the obvious question.
How on earth is any of this allowed? The answer is more interesting than you might expect, because regulators have looked at it repeatedly, and what they concluded is more nuanced than either "this is fine" or "this is a cartel." Take the clearest example. In 2021, EssilorLuxottica moved to acquire GrandVision, a European optical retail group running chains across the continent. This is a manufacturer buying a very large number of shops. The European Commission opened an in-depth investigation, and its finding was remarkably specific. The Commission concluded that by acquiring that retail footprint, EssilorLuxottica could degrade rival opticians' access to its own branded eyewear in Belgium, Italy, and the Netherlands, which would mean less choice and higher prices for consumers in those countries. Read that again, because that is a regular writing down the exact mechanism this whole video is about. Not a journalist, not a critic with an axe. The Competition Authority of the European Union, in a formal merger decision, stating that owning both the brands and the shops gives you the ability to squeeze the shops you do not own. The Commission cleared the deal in March 2021, but only on conditions. EssilorLuxottica had to divest around 350 stores. In Italy, 174, including an entire chain outright. In the Netherlands, 142 stores, sold together with the brand name attached to them. So that is your honest answer to, is this legal? Yes, subject to a regulator carving pieces off it in specific countries, wherever the concentration got tight enough to prove.
And now the number I promised you. You will hear constantly that this company controls 80% of the eyewear market. It is one of the most repeated business facts on the internet. It traces back to a television segment from 2012, and it has been passed from hand to hand ever since, usually by people who are furious about the price of glasses. It is not right. Fact-checkers have gone after it and could not stand it up. The company itself has put its global share closer to 10%. Independent market researchers put Luxottica's worldwide share at around 14% before the Essilor merger, and the combined group at roughly 30% afterwards. So why does the 80% number refuse to die? Because it is pointing at something real. It is just pointing at it badly. The dominance is not spread evenly across every pair of glasses on Earth. It is concentrated. Concentrated at the premium and mid-premium end, in exactly the branded and designer eyewear you picture when you think about buying proper glasses
and in the physical chains that sell them to you. In that segment, in those shops, the concentration is enormous. So the accurate sentence is not, one company owns 80% of eyewear. It is narrower, and I think considerably more unsettling. In the part of the market where you are actually likely to shop, your choices are largely owned by one company.
Which raises a question. What does a company like this do once it has run out of eyewear to buy? So far, the answer is that it stops thinking of itself as an eyewear company at all. In October 2024, EssilorLuxottica completed the acquisition of Supreme, the streetwear brand from VF Corporation, for a base price of $1.5 billion in cash. A company that began life making spectacle components in an alpine village, now owns a skate culture clothing label out of downtown Manhattan. That looks eccentric until you remember what this company has always actually sold. It has never really been in the business of correcting your vision. It is in the business of putting an object on your face that other people look at and charging a brand premium for it. Supreme is not a departure from that. It is the same trade with a different product on the front. But there is a second move, and it is the more consequential one. EssilorLuxottica manufactures the Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses in partnership with Meta. Cameras, speakers, and an assistant built into a Ray-Ban frame. Consider what position that creates. If glasses stop being a passive lens and become a device, a camera, a microphone, eventually a screen, living on your face all day, then whoever already owns the frames, the factories, the retail network, and the optical expertise starts from somewhere no technology company can easily reach. Meta can build the electronics. It cannot conjure 60 years of frame manufacturing and 17,000 shops out of a design studio. The eyewear business turned out to be a very good place to be standing when the wearable computing era arrived. And that is the thing about this company I find genuinely hard to shake. There was never a single dramatic act. No raid, no fraud, no collapse, no perp walk, no documentary crew. There is only a man in a mountain town in 1961, buying his way one step closer to the customer, and then doing it again and again for 60 years, until the entire path between a factory and a human face belonged to one group.
So what does all of this actually cost you? Be careful here, because this is exactly where the topic usually collapses into a slogan. Glasses are expensive for several perfectly honest reasons. Prescription lenses are precision optics. Retail space on a high street costs real money. An eye examination is a genuine medical service performed by a trained professional, and you should want that person paid properly. But price is set by what a market will tolerate, and what a market tolerates depends entirely on where you can go instead. When the brands on the shelf itself, and the plan that reimburses you all sit under one roof, the number of places you can go instead is smaller than it looks from where you are standing, and you can still get out of it. Independent opticians exist, and many of them are excellent. Online sellers exist, they are substantially cheaper, and the pressure they have applied is the most genuine competitive force this industry has felt in decades. But most people never test any of it, not because they are lazy, because the choice never presents itself as a choice. It presents itself as a wall of rival brands, and a wall of rival brands does not look like a decision that needs interrogating. That is the whole trick, except it is not a trick at all. It is just ownership, arranged carefully enough that it becomes invisible. So next time you pick up a pair, turn the arm over Look at the small print near the hinge. You will start seeing the same name,